coming from the solar flares. I do have a question for you, Dr. Blair.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yes. I would like to know pretty much what goes into, or should I say, what prompts quantum leaps in species?
What prompts quantum leaps in species?
Yes.
Well, a quantum is simply a quanta. It simply means a bringing together of whatever it is. A leap, of course, can be bad, good, forward, backward, whatever again. Species is very interesting because you've got 13 species right now dwelling amongst us, and we can't even get along with the 4 or 5 we know. The planet right now is we're into the 4th dimension. That's why people are seeing things out of the corner of their eye. That's why animals and so are beginning to look at you kind of funny, and you're beginning to see things in the room as you now can begin to understand that they've always been on the 4th dimension, both cats and dogs. You don't hear cats and dogs arguing and fighting unless there's something wrong. But when they all move, they move in one direction because they're using psychic, telepathic visions. So it's what we've got to regain again, too. And I would say the species now is all over this planet. It's 13 here already. I've named them many times. You know, the Nordic Regalians, you got Syrians, you got Telosians, you got Procyon, you got Humites, Lyrans, Tossitaceans, what else? Andromedans, Arcturans, Alpha Centaurians. They're all here. They're all watching. Just to see how crazy we're going to be when the beasts are finally let out of the zoo cages and the keepers are being held at bay, and we put ourselves back in the cages almost every day without any locks. So, as I say, when we can rise into programs like this, even though it sounds dimensional, it's very simple. The highest energy we can follow in the sector we're going is org energy. That's orgon, that's original, that's organic, that's org, it's all of these kind of things, orgasms, all of this thing. We shouldn't have gone less than magnetic, because that's the energy of the spirit that feeds everything that is spiritual, and the Creator has created us as spirits. But we're now into electricity, which you think you can't go any lower, but they found a way. They've used extra low frequency now that are everywhere. They got these towers up everywhere. You got these crazy cell phones everywhere. They got television sets everywhere. They got X-ray units everywhere. They got microwave units everywhere. This is as low as you can get, and the planet is not going to take it. You haven't seen earthquakes yet. You haven't seen these tornadoes that are sweeping around all this energy that's being displayed from the Galaxy plant and from CERN and from HAARP and from ELATA. So this is what we expect, but we can still get past that. We can put a cocoon of energy around us that is magnetic. Yes, the electricity will fail, but they're trying to tell you that the magnetism on this planet is going low. They're lying every day. The magnetic field is going because we now have a third sun coming in. It'll be visible by the September. We can already see the other two, and it's not going to take electricity. It's going to emit magnetism. Therefore, we're going to have blackouts, brownouts, and everything else. We might as well prepare for that. But you can actually see in the dark when you begin to get enough energies in from magnesium and other things that are magnetic, and you combine that again with the monatomic gold, and that's why they don't want you to use that gold, because they can't use the gold. Well, I don't want to keep rattling on and on. It's a wonderful time. It's a horrible time. It's a time where we all must become aware of who we are, what we are, and why we are.
Indeed.
Blue.
Yes.
I do have a question for the doctor.
Yes, please.
Dr. Delber Blair, are you familiar with the vector equilibrium, also known as the cube octahedron?
The cube octahedron? No, I've heard of tetrahedron, but not the rock. No.
Okay. Well, where I was going to get at with it was I just wanted to know what are the effects of geometry, sacred geometry on our consciousness at this time. How important is it for us to, visually start to see certain geometrical patterns and designs right now? Does it affect our consciousness? Does it assist our evolution? Will it help us?
Well, the universal language, of course, is geometry. They call it sacred geometry. I don't know how sacred it is, but it is patterns because they don't use letters and alphabets and vowels and all this kind of thing. The thing that's been prepared us are these crop circles. People don't even understand what crop circles mean. It was waking up certain vortices on our planet because those crop circles form cylinders. And it also means that underneath where these crop circles are patterns and caverns and crystals and everything else. And it let us know that these notice it got more intrigue and more intriguing. Started off very simple to let you know. And, of course, it wasn't made by Doug and Dave with lawnmowers. It's a way of awakening the geometric things that form this planet. You see, our planet is in various stages. Now we'll see one planet that can become a sun. We're going to be on a sun. We won't even know it. When we get to the fifth dimension, it will be Earth's heavenly sphere. And we're already in progress. Some of us are not dead yet. The kind of things that they're now using, they've had what they call these scales to measure the type of energy being released in from the sun. They call it C, M, and then X. X meant they couldn't even exist in it. In 1900, we'd be dead. Now they're starting off with X as the lowest form. So now it means we're receiving radiations already and we're not dead. That means we've already mutated. It doesn't mean we mutated. It means we now are becoming the spirits that we actually are. That's why people will become very psychic. Geometry will be a thing of the past. We'll be able to live the geometry now by the use of our glands and organs. So it's a metamorphosis that's happening. For some, it's causing death and disease because they're full of animals, they're full of everything low. But the more you can begin to raise your consciousness, get into minerals, some people never even had indium. And, of course, in the Q528, which is a new vibration, that's why, and you've peeped that already, that's why we sell Q528. That means you're on the new wavelength, and these are things to enhance the new wavelength. Everything is changing. Not everything is bad. But if you listen to their newscasts and bluescasts, we'll all be crazy.
Indeed. Indeed.
Are
I want to
you
go to the
able
next caller. Okay? All right, that would be caller from the 304. 304-894. Peace, caller.
Hey, peace, know the ledge. I got a question for Dr. Delber Blair and a question for KT, too.
Yes.
Yes, sir. KT, I wanted to know when you're going to do Hollywood Decoded. I guess it would be 3.
It's funny you asked. Red and I are actually doing an event on Sunday where I'm going to be doing a visual presentation of the information that I've done in the past 2 shows. In terms of part 3, that is be discussed with KTL. But yeah, I have to do the wrap up where I do Captain America, the Planet of the Apes, Harry Potter, Cowboys and Aliens, and pretty much wrap the whole summer up. So that's coming soon, and we will keep you posted. But in the meantime, I'm not sure where you're located. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from West Virginia.
Okay, you West Virginia. Yeah, we're doing an event this Sunday here in Atlanta. When the visual is done, we will have that available. But there will be another one coming soon.
Okay, like available on the internet?
Yeah, say that again.
Be able to order it? The event that you're doing?
Yes. We'll have it available for sale as soon as it gets edited and everything gets taken care of.
Thank you, sir. And Dr. Delber Blair?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, KT. Dr. Blair?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask you about the moon. I've been noticing the moon very close to the sun these days.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Could you tell me what that's about, what your insight to that is?
Oh, well, around the moon is a vortex field. They don't talk about that. Around our Earth is a vortex field. They refer to it as the Van Allen radiation belt. Well, before the Dutchman Van Allen came on the scene, it was called vortex. Vortex is energy that keeps everything constant. Around you is a vortex field, and it can be expanded. So what's happening there, the moon is a hollow spaceship. The moon was brought here and squelched a long time ago by the Achman, which later on became known as the Olmecs. There was a big battle that was fought here. And that moon could have destroyed this whole system as it did Marduk and Malona when it attacked them. So what is happening now on the dark side of the moon, you see, the moon is not a natural satellite. Obviously, that's why it doesn't orbit. It orbits, but it does not spin. It does not rotate, which means it's a non-celestial body. It's automatically made. We won't say man-made because they're not men that made it, but it was humanoid-made. And inside it, of course, is capable of movement. They want to reactivate it. That's not going to be allowed to happen because that would rend the Earth out of its orbit. But it is being used as a spaceship. They've had many people there. They even have robot heads that look negroid. You've heard about the sister that's on this mile-long spaceship there. They found her still wired and animated. So many things are now being revealed. So I just simply say history is just that. History goes back nowhere. 10,000 years and they wonder. This planet is 4.6 billion years old, been dominated by these Dracons for 3.8, and they got to go. So the moon, again, will be used what it's supposed to be used for, as a dead satellite, and let's hope they don't activate it again, because it was hell when it was activated the first time.
No doubt. Caller, you good? Caller?
Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, yes, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Dr. Blair, I wanted to ask you about the Quran and its usefulness in these times. And I've read some things in there where it talks about something approaching us from, I guess, galactically approaching the place we're at now, Earth or Mother Life or Mother Earth or whatever. But just in general, what is your insight on the Quran?
Well, I'm not a student of the Quran. I therefore would not be able to quote or misquote the Quran because I'm not a student of it enough. In general, the many so-called holy books I have looked at, and since I can't speak directly of what the Quran says is coming, I can say now that through biblical scholarship, I was a black Baptist minister, but I woke up. I'm not a hypocrite. But also in the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, the Talmud, all of these particular ones now show that there is an approaching thing. Some have called it Nibiru, some have called it the planet of the crashing, some have called it Lucifer Marduk. The only thing is that it's not it that is coming, it's already here. And we'll begin to see it more and more. It's that huge thing. You're going to see that third sun, which is going to be seen by September. People are going to be freaking out of their minds when they see this thing. It is that a ship comes with it. And that ship is the ship of destiny. It's again bringing back, how can we call it, the real gods of this planet, the real creators of this planet. And they're here either to take this planet up, not out, and to take away those beings who will go into a deep sleep, and they're going to remove them from here because they cannot vibe to the way this planet is going. So that's why now you're going to see all kind of wars and rumors of wars, because these people that serve them, called the Illuminati, know their time is up. Everything you see now, they're worried, well, I don't want to keep rambling. That's what I understand it to be, and of course I cannot quote the Quran to get there, but as I say, that's the way I understand it overall.
Thank you, sir. When it comes to... Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you all. Know the ledge. Dr. Blair?
Brother, peace.
Thank you. Peace.
I want to go back to the 336. Coach Kayer, 587. Peace, Coach.
Peace, peace, peace. Peace, family.
Peace. Yeah, Coach, you may have been out for a second, but the good Dr. Blair had a question for you.
Wow. Dr. Blair, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing, brother, very well, brother. Here, how you doing, man?
You know, I'm healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Yeah, I thank you again for that invitation that you and Brother Tigo set up there for me when I was down in Greensboro. And, of course, we know how we dodged that tornado, right?
Yes, sir.
Wasn't that beautiful?
Sir.
That's why I wish you could have directed that energy as we did then, you see, because that energy is powerful. We got 400 people here. We could have directed to a person, a place, or a thing. And as you know, there's nothing wrong with being defensive as long as the offense has already been set against you.